My name is Max Gerlach. I'm from Central Jersey, and I'm studying Chinese and Japanese. Um, I decided to major in Chinese right after I went to China in my sophomore year of high school. I went with a friend who has Chinese relatives, and I didn't know any Chinese at all. But he was like, "Hey, do you want to come to China for the summer?" And I was like, "Yes." and and so I went, and I remember being on the plane, and I was like kind of trying to pick up phrases that I could use with the flight attendants, like right off the bat. And I was having a ton of fun. And then Japanese kind of came as like an afterthought. I was talking to my grandfather, and he was big in the business industry, and he was like, "Oh, you should take Japanese too, or instead, because it's super important in the business world." But I decided just to keep all my options open, I might as well take both. So yeah, I just started like that, and I'm still working on it. Um, it's taking a lot of effort to do both at the same time, but it's fun overall. Specifically, the Chinese department, I really was amazed when I got here by how um, Professor Sun and Professor Yin kind of broke the language into two tracks. So they have you learning, um, a speaking. You're learning how to say and read things in pinyin, and then you're also learning how to write things in characters. And then eventually, those two paths that are separate at the beginning line up, and that makes it super manageable to kind of learn. Okay, what is Chinese? Like, how does Chinese work? That kind of attention to detail in terms of making sure you're teaching students kind of you're giving them a good base, that very attentiveness to how the students are learning is what makes learning here at UVM much different from my high school experience, where it's kind of just like learn the vocab, pass the quiz. Like I said earlier, I when I went to China, I had a super fun time. But now that I'm studying both, I've kind of decided that for the UVM study abroad, I probably want to focus on Japan, just because I've never been there, and I don't know as much about Japanese culture. But it's definitely been tricky to balance trying to get enough exposure to both. And I'm sure being in one place and learning the two languages will very seriously alter how I'm able to juggle both of them. I'm sure being in Japan and studying Chinese is going to be a little bit trickier than being here and studying both of them. In terms of after college, I'm not sure yet. I think a lot of that is going to be based off of the experience I have in Japan and hopefully in China. Um, but that's the plan for now, and it's all subject to change because it's so early. But I'm going to take a serious look at that come this summer. I would encourage language learning for anyone. Just overall, that if I could get anything out of this, it would be to kind of um, share some of the positive aspects of language learning for all reasons. Not just for the ability to communicate with a different culture, but to learn more about yourself and how you treat others and how others treat you, and how it all kind of works together. It's not difficult to get a major or minor in a language if you start early. So as a first year student, I would say look around, kind of think about things that interest you and think about culture that interests you, and use that to kind of shape, maybe a minor in a language, or even just start out taking an introductory a course, so that you can make that decision earlier, because the earlier the better.